All right, how to open a brokerage account. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process, step by step, on how to open it and how to start using it as well, and how to compare them, some things to consider, everything that you really should know about this. So first of all, a brokerage account is an account that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, any other type of investment. There's different kinds, but basically think of it like a bank account, but for investing. You deposit money, and then you can use that money to invest in the stock market. So it holds your money securely, and there's different types of brokers. Like there is, large ones, there's smaller ones, and some of them have more investment products, some don't. Some have higher fees, some have lower fees. Some have access to more markets than others. Like in some, you can invest into, say, the German DAX, like the German stock market, or some you can invest in the Australian Stock Exchange or in, various other stock exchanges. So there's different kinds and they do have different features. Now, five key things to consider. Um, it's important because there are different types of brokers that exist that we choose one that really suits our needs. And there's different considerations for it. And I just want to draw your attention to the very last bullet point that we have here, which is that there's not really much that you can do wrong. There's different types of brokers that have different features, as I said before, and it's fairly secure because they are regulated. To be a larger broker, you have to be regulated, and they often are linked to banks that where you can put your money into is basically then held by a bank, by a large bank often that securely holds your funds, like ING, like Baader Bank or other banks. And these are quite secure ways of storing your money. So, there's not really much you can do wrong here. So when it comes to selecting one, you want to look out for the costs. The lower the costs, the better. And there's different types of costs. Maybe I'll just quickly skip ahead on these slides to show you. There's like brokerage costs, which is basically a monthly account fee that you pay to have access to a brokerage account. And obviously, there's many, the lower the better. And there's many actually brokerages that don't have this account fee. So you want to look out for that, ideally one that doesn't have that account fee, because you will be able to save money that way in the long run. Because €1 might not seem like a lot, but over 10 years, I mean, okay, €1 is quite low, but let's say it's 5 or 10 euros, like that will add up over the years. So then there's order costs. These are costs that you pay when you execute a trade. Let's say you buy an ETF, you have to pay an order cost because you're putting in an order and they charge a fee for that. So, once again, €5 might not seem like a lot, but when you do trade, say make 3 or 4 trade a month into 3 or 4 different ETFs, and you consistently do that, €20 per month is a lot of money. Like, that's like a gym subscription or a Netflix subscription or something, depends. But those costs do add up. So you want to look for something that does have lower costs. And so ETF saving plan execution costs, a similar thing. So you can set up a saving plan where you invest every single month into an ETF, and that basically adds up over time. And when I mean, you have to pay a fee to execute that ETF saving plan, and it will allow you to automatically invest every single month a part of your money into ETFs, and there's often an execution cost associated with that, and it will cost money. And so obviously don't want to spend so much, and therefore, not find one that has high costs. Then there's extra costs. Some of them have other costs that they then mention. So obviously, the general vibe is the less you pay, the better. So you want to look for something that's not so pricey. So, and then there's also what investment products exist. This depends on what you prefer to invest into. If you want to invest into, say, ETFs in this course, you want to see that they have a lot of different ETFs on offer, because maybe you want to invest into some ETFs and then you look and then that brokerage account doesn't actually have access to these ETFs that you want. So, you want to look for a broker that has access to the investment product that you want. There's also obviously stocks. So if it has stocks, make sure that it has the stocks that you want. If you can also, invest into cryptocurrencies, maybe you want to invest into crypto and then you want to see that they have access to these cryptocurrencies. So that's important to consider. Then managing, you want to manage the portfolio alone, right? There is brokers that offer investment services, and these could be really good for someone that has already saved up a bit more money, or anyone really that wants to have someone actively manage their portfolio. So not into passive investment strategies as we teach in this course, but where you have someone that will actively manage your portfolio to achieve certain investment goals that you have, and then give you peace of mind that, over the long run, they will be able to reshuffle investments so that you will make the most amount of money, ideally. So this is another thing that you would have to consider what you prefer. Whether I can't really say whether one is better than the other, but it just depends on your own style. And I have passively managed my portfolio and have made pretty decent returns by just going into easy, safe assets over time, and it's worked for me. So, but I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, so this is something that you have to figure out yourself and maybe speak to a qualified financial advisor. Security is another point. So you want to make sure that these are secure, that they are established brokers that exist for longer, that have good customer service, so that when there is something wrong, that you can maybe call them, send them a message, and they will get reliably back to you. That's really important, because if you don't have that, you don't have that security, it's not established, doesn't have customer service, maybe it's not safe for you to put your money into it. So this is something you have to consider. So how to choose one? Basically, compare providers and decide for one. There is different tools that exist that help you compare. And you would, want to do a little bit of due diligence yourself. We're going to recommend some in this course, but obviously the one that you end up choosing, you have to, decide for yourself. So in terms of different ones that you can choose, there's this tool called, I like it, I think it's Broker Chooser, it's called, and they have some here that, compare different things and rate the brokers here. And so it's good for making decisions to look at, what are the ratings of the different brokers. And so, for example, you can see here the fee score. You can see how like the fees are, trading fees. This one seems to be quite low. US stock fee, $1. Euro, US dollar spread, 0.1. And, it compares the different fees. No deposit fee, no withdrawal fee. That's always good. Something to look out for. Inactivity fee, there's none of that. These are the different regulators that exist, the foundation date, and yeah, you can look at, the minimum deposit, and what options there are for depositing money. This might also be important. And and then you can even read reviews of them. So this is a good one to consider. And yeah, you want to ideally have one that has a lot of also investment products. It appears it's not findable in Broker Chooser from at least what I've seen, to see the number of ETFs that a broker offers. So I would definitely have a look online and see if you are set on a specific one that your broker has them. But usually for this course, just letting you know that the portfolio ideas that we're going to give you, they're going to be found in most brokers because they are very large established ETFs that are findable by most brokers. And especially, yeah, they're all found in Trade Republic as well, which is the broker we recommend in this course. So that should all be doable without any complications. Right, so yeah, you do, okay, in the end, yeah, compare the providers, decide for one based on what the best criteria are. So then you register to the website and you provide data and a reference account. You answer often a questionnaire, which could be something about basically what your experience is with different financial products and what your experience is in investing. And then you confirm your identity. You can execute a saving plan or do individual investments. So this is broadly the 5 steps to choosing a brokerage and to then start investing with that brokerage. And so the fees and costs we covered. Then there's also saving plans. So the number of free ETF saving plans is just like the number of stocks that are available or ETFs. So obviously the more variety, the better. If you go with big established platforms, you will usually end up having a wider variety of stocks and ETFs that you can choose from to buy. And Trade Republic is a big one, but another good one is Interactive Brokers. There's links of all of that in the course. And so, depending on which which broker you choose. Now, this part is really important. It's really, really important because it's very much dependent on where you are located, where your bank account is located, that will dictate which broker you will be able to use. So we recommend, for example, Trade Republic, but this is only possible to be used within the Eurozone. So if you have a bank account that is present in the EU, in an EU member country, then you will be able to use Interactive Brokers as your broker. If you do not live in an EU member state country, we can recommend Interactive Brokers, which is another very big established platform, as you could see in the broker chooser comparison tool before as well. And this is suitable for countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Eurozone countries, which is the case for Interactive Brokers as well, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Brazil, India, South Korea, New Zealand, and South Africa, and some other countries as well. These countries typically have local currency accounts linked to Interactive Brokers for easy fund transfers, but I definitely recommend you to check with the platform that you want to go with prior to actually doing that, to ensure that you have the most up-to-date listed countries and bank connections, as this can change over time. And to avoid making your account and then realizing that you can't actually transfer any money onto it. So this is something to check beforehand. We will give you tutorials on Trade Republic and Interactive Brokers, showing you how to use both platforms, depending on whether you are in a Eurozone country, in which case Trade Republic is very suitable. And if you are not, and instead one of the other countries, we will show you obviously how to open and use the Interactive Brokers account as well. There's different trading markets. So you want to have like the European market, the USA market, other markets. It's important that, depending on where you are located, that you have access to the market that you want to invest into. But for this course, we're going to go through some ETFs that are tradable. And so, you want to consider if it has a customer service, if it has good interest rate. I think it's really important to have a good customer service because it will allow you to, as we said before, raise any questions to them and they will get back to you. And it's just way better to have good phone or email support, because otherwise it will end up costing you in the long run if you end up chasing them a lot and you're not able to get quick responses if something goes wrong. And Trade Republic has been rated really well and has had overall a pretty good customer service experience. People have been really happy with it. I know a lot of people that are using it and that really like it. So they also, I think, pay a small interest rate. So this is some money that you can earn on top on your savings that you have with them for keeping your money with them. So this is an added bonus, but it's very small percentage, still only, I think, 2.5 or 3% or something like that. And I think, yeah, it's always better to have your money invested because you will get more money of that, you know, at an 8 or 10% growth per year. That's pretty good. And you'll be able to, yeah, earn more that way. But I mean, yes, the option exists. If you have your money a little bit lying around there, you're not sure what to do with it, it'll gain a bit of money as well, which is pretty good. So to compare a few brokerages that we could use, we have, for example, here Trade Republic. It has a brokerage fee of €0. So, you know, it costs you nothing to have your money there lying around. And, you know, they will even pay you a 2.5% interest rate, I think, as it says on the bottom. The order fee is €1. So every time you execute a trade, it's €1. And that's quite cheap. So if you know, say you have an ETF portfolio, you have 3 ETFs there, you make 3 trades a month, and it will cost you €3 a month to do those trades. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cheap. Then there is no execution costs for executing an ETF saving plan, which is good. Then you have number of total free and total ETF saving plans. So you have, you know, these are the different investment options, 2,600, which is quite a large number of different investment products that exist, which is really good. You know, the more, the better. There's savings rates from 1 to 10,000 euros. Execution intervals. I mean, this is not really super important, to be honest. Like, this is when you can execute a saving plan, which would be monthly, quarterly, you know, semi-annually, annually, weekly, and bi-weekly, you know. So this is then the amount, like the, you know, how often you can set an investment to happen. For example, if you want to have to invest, you know, bi-weekly or weekly into an ETF or monthly, you know, you can set this up. So yeah, not super important. The execution day is 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd. Yeah, not a biggie. You have good customer service via FAQs and chatbot. So you have a chatbot and FAQs actually. So it's been really established, and a lot of people use it, and a lot of people that I know use it, and it's pretty safe. It's regulated. I don't think they can go much wrong, but yeah, just to make you aware of that. And then there's a 2.5% interest on your settlement account. So to emphasize this point again, you can only use this platform if you are in a single euro payment area, meaning you are an EU member state. Only then can you use this this broker. Yeah, pretty good. Then there's Smart Broker. Super low fees, no fees from what I can see. Extra order costs. Okay, so that's €4 plus 0.01% of the order. Actually, that is quite a bit. Extra order costs. So international trading, they basically have this fee apply to in the US, Canada, and Great Britain stock exchanges. So those have some higher prices associated with them. And then for the number of total free ETF options, they have 1,620, which is quite a bit. And then you can basically trade in Europe, USA, and others, and they have phone and email support, so that's pretty strong. You know, good customer support. Interest rate is not specified. Good one to keep in mind. Then there is Interactive Brokers. They have very low trading fees. They have a very high number of ETFs available. They have different execution intervals, and they have a wide range of access to different markets, very good customer support, phone and chat, very good, no interest rates, but a very broad access to people from around the world that can use it easily. On some platforms, the rating has been less good because maybe considered less user-friendly by some. I'm not going to take any positions. It's a really good platform. It has a lot of ETFs, a lot of options out there that you might want to choose. And if you are in one of these countries, it will be really good. Noting, it's really important that you are in one of the countries that it actually allows for transactions to happen in. So these countries are, for example, the US, UK, Eurozone, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Brazil, India, South Korea, New Zealand, and South Africa. And as we said before, the currency is linked, but do your own due diligence before opening an account to make sure your country is accepted. Now, definitely recommend looking at the tutorials in terms of the brokers, the features that they have, like saving plans and all that. Definitely useful to look at to see how it's practically done. Now we've discussed the theory, now it's time to get to the action part. And this is really important because it's cool to see these videos and learn about the topic and stuff, but you won't actually get the results until you take action. So it's really important, you see this and then you actually do it. You actually go out and do it, because I think 80% of people, they will watch this and they won't do anything. They won't change their lives. Instead, if you change it now, it could change your life forever. So really get going, get started, and see you at the next video.